Hey guys, and welcome back to Worst Roblox Games. Today we're going to be reviewing Zombie Uprising. My first issue is the difficulty choosing. I'm getting so tired of seeing these in zombies games because it's kind of just basic. I understand that it gives you more money and XP, but it just kind of feels silly to have them. My next complaint is the fact that there's cases in this game. I don't even need to explain why this is wrong. I am so tired of seeing games that have this roulette feature where you can like open up a case and see what's inside for like a random number. Sometimes you'll get money, sometimes you'll get a higher above case, and sometimes you'll wonder why you even opened it up at all. My next issue is the fact that you can select loadouts in this game. I know Cold War does this, but it does it in a different way. It has it at tier 1 and you cannot make it to tier 5. So you have to like upgrade it slowly or just get it straight from the mystery box. No, this game just drops you in with 2 different weapons and that's the weapons you were stuck with. You have 4 total weapons and it just feels like you already have Mule Kick and it's just so stupid. The ammo count is absolutely ridiculous. I've got like 2,000 ammo over there. My next really big complaint is the fact that the maps are just way too big and open, and then the fact that the zombies are really not that difficult to deal with. Even on the hardest difficulty, all I really ended up using most of the game was the grenade launcher, and they really didn't even really feel like a threat. They just felt like brain dead zombies just walking at me until I killed them. The next issue that this game has is that it tries to be like Call of Duty. For every kill you get, the more points you get. And there's also perks around the map. You can upgrade your weapon. I mean, this is literally just a straight up Call of Duty Zombies clone that just ends up feeling really bad at the end of the day. Not to mention the aim assist, which is absolutely ungodly. It feels like the game is playing itself for me whenever it turns itself on every time I go to aim. So I can probably already hear you guys typing down in the comments saying, Sugar, why don't you turn off the aim assist? Well, let me tell you how sensitive the control sticks are. If I turn off the aim assist, well, the game is basically unplayable. So, I mean, you kind of have to pick your poison. Either you keep the aim assist on or you turn it off. And my option is to simply keep it on so I can actually hit my target. Now, if I'm playing on PC, well, of course I don't have to worry about that because you can also zoom out, and since this game has basically little to no recoil, it kind of just looks ridiculous whenever you zoom out on a zombies game and turn yourself into third person and basically give yourself godly like powers. My next issue is the perks. The health perk, which is Jugger Blocks in this game, is unrightfully numbered 30,500. Now, if you've never played a Call of Duty game before that has zombies in it, or you're uneducated, then allow me to explain to you how much it normally costs. It usually costs 2,500, which really isn't that much. But in this game, it asks for a whole lot more. Now, to be honest with you, is it really necessary to get these perks? No. To be honest with you, it's just a slight buff, and honestly just makes you more unstoppable than you were before, considering how easy this is. There's turrets all over the map, and it only just serves to make the game so much easier. There's also a self-revive, which they call quick revive, but I like to call it self-revive because it's the game's way of saying, hey, if you go down because you're so bad at this game, here, we'll quickly revive you, and it's absolutely fruitless. So my next issue is the fact that the guns sound like airsoft rifles. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then well, just play the game for like 5 seconds and then go pop in like Black Ops 2 or Corrupt Zombies. You will know exactly what I mean by the game just kind of sounds like airsoft guns out and on a battlefield. It just sounds so ridiculous. My next issue is the fact that no matter what gun you use, most of them just feel like lasers. I mean, literally, it doesn't take that many bullets to take down a single zombie. And it doesn't even really matter what you use. It doesn't matter if you use a pistol or an assault rifle. And it just kind of ends up being goofy because it just feels like you can take down any zombie. And it just makes you feel like an unstoppable being. Which is why Zombie Uprising is kind of just a zombies game that feels like it was built for babies. It just feels way too easy in a way. My next issue is the fact that whenever you go down, sometimes in other games, whenever you go down, you'll lose perks, but if someone picks you up in enough time, you lose absolutely none, and it's absolutely disgusting. It just kind of feels like you got away with a crime. Also, there is two different versions of bosses. Either you'll get the big boss that's either a skeleton or some guy shooting lasers, or you'll get this segment where you're stuck in one spot and you shoot towards this hole in a wall, and it's always easy because all it really boils down to is simply grabbing your grenade launcher and firing endless amounts of grenades or rockets at it until everything is dead. My next issue is the mystery box. Sometimes you could get rough, coarse, 1-to-1, fine, or very fine. Now, this would be okay and all, it's just the fact that the dial that is supposed to point to whatever you got is just so dark. You can't really see what it gives you because there's no white thing or yellow thing or anything on there to indicate what you got. Like, there's no highlighter. It just turns in a direction and you just, like, here, let me put it this way. If it points towards like rough or very fine, you won't know which one you got because since they're both on the same plane and there's no real color differentiating where it's pointing to, you end up just getting confused. I don't think anyone can defend this part, and honestly, it's where I think the developers simply stopped trying. You can literally upgrade weapons. Nothing gets put inside the machine. You can just click and hold square and it just upgrades. Like it just turns red on your hotbar and it lets you know that the gun's upgraded by saying upgrade at the bottom. Another issue that I want to get out of the way is that there's absolutely no stamina bar. There is absolutely no stamina thing whatsoever. Like, you can infinitely run, and the run is also a toggle, so whenever you toggle it on, you can't even aim or shoot. And I hate whenever games do this. I feel like it should just stop you while you're running and just immediately go into aiming, as that just makes sense. So here's another thing that I hate. Why is there weapon mods? It really defeats the purpose of being a zombies game, and it kind of just feels like a casual shooter, which I feel is just boring. The odds of you actually going down in this game are so low, and the only reason I went down earlier is because I blew myself up with a grenade launcher just so you could see what I meant by going down and how stupid it was. Also, prestige? Really? Why is that a thing in this game? The way you can prestige is by paying for every single weapon in the game, not including the event tier, but whenever you do pay for every single weapon in the game, you then have the ability to prestige. Now, do I need to explain why this is kind of dumb? What happened to prestiging by levels? I felt like that was the way you were supposed to prestige, because that's how you prestige in Call of Duty normally, so why do you have to prestige by buying every single weapon in this game? That kind of just seems dumb. Not to mention, who's gonna sit here and play that long to actually make it to prestige 3 or 4? That would just make a person go mentally insane, and I don't understand how a person would want to sit here for this long and actually play this game enough to where they can make it to prestige 4, for God's sakes. Don't get me wrong, whenever you do prestige, it does make weapons cheaper and stuff, but that still doesn't excuse the fact that the end game weapons usually end up costing $90,000. That is absolutely ridiculous. So the last few complaints I mostly have about it is the fact that this game just has the most stiffest reload animations and stiffest run animation. It feels like I'm playing Project Lazarus all over again, and if you don't know what that game is, well, then good, because there's so many more alternatives out there that end up being way better than that. It used to be good back then whenever you didn't have options, but now you do have options, and it just kind of makes Project Lazarus look obsolete. Because, well, it is. I mean, it's just an obsolete game. If you still want to play it, then good, go ahead. If you want to play it, I am not stopping you. But I think this is where our end video I shall end. The game mostly just boils down to being a generic, pointless shooter that honestly I would not play in my free time if I was literally given the option to. I would only play this game again if I had a gun pointed directly at my forehead and I was being held at gunpoint. I just don't feel like playing this game. It's just generic and boring. I wouldn't even play this game if I was bored to tears.